Hey, how's everybody doing? I want to talk a little bit today about buying parts for your car. For instance, your alternator or your starter goes out and you need to replace it and you don't have the money to take it to a shop, so you want to do it yourself, but you need to find the part. And sometimes the parts are, putting on a starter or an alternator in certain cars is a long process and it takes a lot of work to get that part or to get that part out to replace it. So you want to make sure the replacement part is something that's up to standard. It's up to OEM, original manufacturer standard. And you're not going to get that if you go to one of the auto parts stores like AutoZone or one of those Rock Auto or someplace like that. You're going to get what they call a remanufactured part. You're going to get a part that's been remanufactured in another country, probably China. They've slapped the thing back together with maybe not the bearings are up to standard. Maybe the wiring isn't up to standard. Maybe all these things, they use a lesser quality to save money. And that's what you're getting over the counter. You're getting that kind of a part. A better alternative to buying parts over the counter from one of the these parts stores, these AutoZones or someplace like that. There's a ton of them. O'Reilly is to go actually to a recycler and buy the part from the recycler. Because if you buy the part from the recycler, or what we used to call junkyards or salvage yards, is you're going to get the part that originally came off the vehicle that was made by the manufacturer. And it's going to be what the manufacturer intended that part to be. Everything's going to be up to that standard. These remanufacturers will buy cars from insurance companies that have been damaged. And sometimes insurance companies will damage cars that are in very good shape, but just maybe a minor problem. So they'll go ahead and just say that the car's totaled and they'll sell it to the salvage yards. And then the salvage yards will take the parts off and resell it to the public. It's kind of hard to buy those parts online because they're not cookie cutter parts. So a resalvage yard a recycler may get all kinds of cars. He takes the parts off the cars. And so most of the parts that he sells, he has to remove from the car first, which is a lot of labor. And then he has to have it in inventory. And then somebody's got to usually walk in and purchase it over the counter. You can't buy it online. But we are starting to find ways for you to buy the recycler parts online. And I want to show you a few places where you can buy recycling parts online, which is a lot easier, a lot better for the overall standard or the overall quality that you're putting back into the car. You're putting something back in that the manufacturer intended for that to be there, was originally from the manufacturer, and not buying something from over the counter. Or going to the dealership and paying an exorbitant amount of money for the part, which the dealerships are very expensive. You can buy it used and get a lot better deal. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen. We'll take a look at a few places that I've found where you can buy recycler parts over the internet. So here we go. And I'm going to share my screen with you right now. So obviously the biggest go to find used parts on the internet is a place called Carpark. And I'm going to take you there right now. It's car-park.com. And if you go to this site, and let's say I'm going to select a car that let's take one randomly. Let's just take a 2003, and let's just choose Ford because we know Fords are very common brand. See if I can find all that. It is kind of difficult to use this because you got to scroll through a lot of options, and that's where I'm going to show you a couple other sites that are a little bit easier than this, but. If you go to Ford, you keep scrolling down here until you get to the Taurus. And then we select an area. And let's just go the entire United States. And I'll just put my postal code in 92008. And then we can look for this part. From all the recyclers, I think there's over 4,000 recyclers in the United States. And for some reason, it's not giving me back a part. But, I got to get a grade. I'm sorry. Let's do price. So if I search, and I'm still not getting the right thing, so let's go back. What am I, price, USA, select a part. Oh, I didn't select a part, sorry about that. Let's just go with alternator. Okay, there we go. Now we should find something. So, okay, it gives me two options, an overhead cam or just the dual overhead cam, and this is just the The other option, just do dual red cam and see what we get. I don't know what OHV stands for. So we'll search. Oh, and here we go. Okay. Here are all the parts, used parts, from recyclers across the country. So you can see that, let me do this, make this a little bit smaller so we can read it out. I'm looking for, as far as the price is concerned, so I got the most expensive price. We could probably look for it the other way, so that, because it looks like the prices are coming down. But let's just look at the most expensive price. It's a place called Mid-Island Auto Wreckers. Here's their phone number, and you can go right to their website. And here's their website. You can call them, and you can actually call them and see if they can ship this part to you. You can pay PayPal or anything over the line, probably. They can give you a MasterCard, Visa, American Express. But anyway, you're going to have to call them and make a deal with them. You're not going to actually be able to go right to their website and order the part. And I don't believe you're able to order it from car-part.com. But anyway, you get all these recycler options. And like it's 49 pages of parts on that. And you can go to the website, you can look at the part, the price of the part, and sometimes you can see an image, like right here we can see an image of the part, or the car. There it is. That's a 2002 Ford Taurus, but it probably fits a 2003, so, you know, stuff can be interchanged with each other. I've also found sites too, like, and I'll show you one right now, where if you go to deltaauto.parts, you can actually go to their website and you can find parts directly on, look at their inventory, not all the other inventories of all the other yards across the country, just this particular yard, Delta, and I believe they're in Portageville, Missouri. And you can see their most recent purchases, like here's they purchased a 2016 Ford, and then they purchased this 2017, looks like a Chevrolet Cruze, this 2011 Ford, I mean actually Ram 1500, but if you click on the image and go to open parts, you actually see all the parts that are off that vehicle and the price. So you can see exactly, you don't have to look for one part at a time. Like on Carpark, you can look at the whole vehicle. So if you're buying multiple parts off this vehicle, you can go through and figure out, man, I need an AC blower, I need a coolant fan, and then I need front door glass. And you can call them and you can get them to send the part out to you. Another option, and I see what they're doing, is where you can actually buy the part off the vehicle, which is what really the easiest way to do it. You just go directly to their site, you pick the vehicle like this Buick LaCrosse, and it's an AC blower, and you just click the shopping cart, review your cart, fill out the information, check out, and you can buy this part right off the internet without calling the auto recycler. You can just do it right off the internet, which is an ideal way of doing it because I get to see the car. Looks like a fairly recent car, a new car. Looks like it's in good shape. No damage on it. So I can buy parts, the AC compressor, the airbag, the ABS brakes, the back window, the airbags. I can buy it directly off the auto recycler, itself website, and not go to a third party like Carpark and actually see the inventory. Now, a lot of times if you're searching for a part, let's just say if I go used car part, and Google reads my IP address, they're going to show me places in my area where I can get used parts, like car parts, a nationwide third-party search. So I've already shown you their site. We can go to Carpark. Or if you continue down, you can see actual salvage yards in our own area, in my area. I'm in San Diego. So you can see Oceanside, Chula Vista, LKQ. I think they're pick a part. That you go pick your part, and then you take it off, and they don't take it off for you. You actually do it. But if you go down further enough, you'll start to find independent auto recyclers. And generally the way it works is no matter what area you look for, like if I go to Portage, I don't know how you spell that, but anyway, here we go. If you go to Portageville, Missouri, we're going to get Delta Auto Parts because Delta Auto Parts is in that region. So Google will pick up the search based on your IP address from your computer and take you to the salvage yard closest to where you live. So, or closest to where you're searching from. So in this case, we're getting to the one that I just showed you. So there's a lot of options available to buy parts online that are OEM standard, and at a great discount if you're buying from a salvage yard and not going to the dealership. So I just thought I'd show you that. Like I said, there's a third party. There's another one called Hollander, but a lot of times it's a lot better if you can go directly to the source instead of going to the third party and buying the part, because like if you do it with the car part, it's a very difficult search because you can only do, the way their system's set up, you can only do one part search at a time. So if I'm looking for multiple parts, I'm scrolling through a lot of stuff. Look at all these options. Maybe I got 3 or 4 different vehicles I'm looking for parts for. I'm going through a lot of different options here to find that part. If I can go directly to the auto recycler, I can see exactly what that person has and buy from his inventory directly, which makes it a lot easier. And if I can buy it on the internet, that makes it even easier yet. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that there's some really cool stuff going on the internet to buy stuff from recyclers, save a lot of money, and not put the stuff back in your car that isn't a very good quality or high quality, especially if you're going to keep your car and it's going to be around for a while. You want to buy stuff that's the manufacturer intended to have it up to that standard. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you a way to buy car parts over the internet from recyclers and salvage yards, and how to do it easy, very, very easy. So you don't have to, waste your time maybe replacing an alternator 3 or 4 times in a few years because it's something that's made very cheaply. So anyway, if there are any more questions, or if if you're a recycler and you want to know any more about this stuff, you can give me a call. It's 760-547-6041, 760-547-6041. Give it to you one more time, 760-547-6041. My name is Kent, and I can help you take your parts and put them on the internet, just like I showed you with Delta Auto Parts, and also show you how to be able to sell those parts off your site. So you're not using a third-party person like a car part, or you're not using somebody else to sell your parts. You're actually the person. You're actually, not to mention the fact that if you're selling parts from your own website, you're gaining an advantage with Google. Google is seeing the activity from your website, and they're giving you better search engine placement. So if you want to sell directly from your site, you want to have your inventory on your own site, and it doesn't mean you can't have it with other third-party sellers like Hollander or Carpark. It just means it gives you more ways to sell your parts and a better opportunity to sell your part. For instance, in this Delta Auto Salvage, like I'm showing you, they're a small town in Missouri. Their walk-through traffic or their searches from that area are going to be fairly, it's not going to be as much as if you're a nationwide, or if you're in a metropolitan area like San Francisco or San Diego or Los Angeles. You want to expose your parts to as many people as you possibly can. So this is a great way of doing it. And it actually helps to sell parts, and it helps people get better parts for their vehicles, and it helps to recycle, which means the vehicles will be recycled and the parts will be put back on the vehicle, and it's a lot less impact on the environment, which is what the recycling industry is trying to do. Put less work or less environmental waste out into the system. So we're actually recycling everything and putting it back on the road. So anyway, like I say, I give you my phone number. I'll put my information below. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.